Hello everyone. Welcome to the first video on this channel. In this video, I will show you step by step how to install Ubuntu Server on a Mac M1 using UTM. First, we open the browser and download the Ubuntu Server ARM64 version from the official Ubuntu website. In the next step, we download UTM. This application allows us to create and run virtual machines on Mac OS. You can also use other virtualization tools if you prefer. After downloading, we install UTM by moving it into the Applications folder and then launch the application. To create a new virtual machine, we select Virtualization, then choose Linux, according to the operating system. Then we configure the system resources. In this setup, we assign 8 gigabytes of RAM and add the Ubuntu Server ISO file that we downloaded to the virtual machine. We allocate 64 gigabytes of storage. These values can be changed based on your needs. We click Continue, assign a name to the virtual machine we will create, save it, and start the VM. Now the installation process starts. First, we select the language for the installation and continue. Next, we choose the keyboard layout and proceed with the default option. After that, the system checks the network connection automatically. We keep the default network configuration and continue. In the next step, we skip the proxy configuration. Then we continue with the default Ubuntu mirror settings. Now, we move to the storage configuration. We select Use an entire disk and continue with the default partition layout. After confirming the disk configuration, we proceed with the installation. Next, we create a user account by entering a username, server name, and password. We continue and skip the Ubuntu Pro option. Then we select to install the OpenSSH server if needed. After that, we keep the default server snaps and continue. Now, the system begins installing Ubuntu Server. We wait until the installation is complete. Once finished, we select Reboot Now to restart the system. Before rebooting, we remove the ISO file from the virtual machine so that it does not boot again from the ISO during startup. After removing the ISO file, we start the virtual machine. After the system boots, we enter the username we created and press Enter. Then, we type the password we set during the installation and press Enter to log into the Ubuntu server. After installing a system, it is important to keep it up to date to avoid compatibility issues with the applications and services we will use. To update the system, we first run the sudo apt update command to refresh the package list. This tells the system to check the repositories and see what new versions are available. Then, we use the sudo apt upgrade command to upgrade the already installed packages. Based on the updated package list, the system installs the newer versions of the existing packages. In the next step, we install and enable the SSH server so that we can connect to the server remotely. SSH, which stands for Secure Shell, is a protocol that allows us to securely connect to a server over a network. With SSH, we can access and manage the server from another device without being physically present. First, we install the SSH server using the sudo apt install OpenSSH-server command. Then, we enable the SSH service to start automatically when the system boots by using the sudo systemctl enable SSH command. After that, we start the SSH service using the sudo systemctl start SSH command. Once SSH is installed and running, we can connect to this server from another device. To do that, we need to know the server's IP address, which we can check using the IPA command. To verify that the SSH service is running correctly, we can use the sudo systemctl status SSH command to check its current status. Next, we check general system information. Using the uname-a command, we can see the kernel version and basic system details. This helps us understand what system we are working on. Then, we check disk usage. The df-h command shows the disk partitions and how much space is being used in a human-readable format. After that, we check memory usage. With the free-h command, we can analyze how much RAM is being used by the system.